Just be a passive observer totally, Dave. Let go with your mind. Look around on your screen and tell me what color I'm holding up on my screen. Just look for a very light haze, very subtle haze, almost impossible to see it, but there's a very slight hint of a haze or a flash.
Hint of yellow?
Yes, it's yellow. I want you to pat your hand on your back and say, good job, Dave, and a big smile. Good job. Okay, now I've got some symbols in front of me. There's 7 symbols. Now, I don't necessarily expect you to get this. This is more advanced, but we're just setting little things in motion for your right brain to get attached to, okay? They don't mean anything. It's the square, the triangle, the circle, and the plus. And the square, the triangle, and the circle could be open or solid. So altogether there's 7. And I'm going to hold one of those cards in the screen and just look around and let go. Don't concentrate. I want you to tap your left foot on the floor and put your attention to the left foot. That's where your attention is, but at the same time, be aware of your screen, your vision screen, but concentrate more on your foot, or I should say, be aware of your foot. And as you tap your left foot on the floor, is there a symbol that appeared? Say whatever you might see if you see something.
I got a circle originally.
Yes, it's a circle. Now, this is a long shot. Can you tell me if it's a solid circle or an open circle? Just look around your mask while tapping your foot. And now I want you to tap your other foot as well. And be aware of what you're doing there, but notice in your screen if something should appear. Is it an open or closed circle, Dave? You are correct that it's a circle.
It's a closed. It's a sphere, a closed circle. But
yes, it is.
But
give yourself another big pat on the back.
I'm giving you that because I got circle as soon as you said you were going to hold something up. I was not. I'm not seeing anything. I'm giving it you.
Mm-hmm. That's good. You got it correct. So I want you to take both hands and pat yourself on the back on this one because you got it doubly right. Okay, now I want you to tell me what color I'm holding up in the screen now. And I want you to divert your left brain by tapping your left cheek with your left hand. Just tap it gently. Feel the cheek with the fingers. In other words, as you tap it, just put your attention there and feel what your skin feels like, the temperature. But at the same time, be aware of your screen and if a color should show up. Could be a hint. You could have a sense of the color. You could hear the word of the color. You could feel the energy, but there's a color. Okay, and just play the piano on your mask. Yep, with your fingernails, just play the piano. Yep, like pretend you're playing the piano, right? Move your fingers on the mask. And as you do that, is there a color that appears? Is there a theme of a color, a very faint, subtle color?
A maroon or something like that?
I'm sorry?
A maroon, reddy color?
Yes, it's red. Very good, Dave. Now, once again, give yourself a pat in the back. And say to yourself, very good. You did great. You did fantastic. Now, this one is a really long shot. I'm just pushing it, okay? I don't expect you to get it, but still, I'm going to just have some fun with you. This is very advanced. I've got 3 letters I'm showing in front of me, and it spells axe, A-X-E. Okay, so there's the letter A, which I'll take separately. There it is in your brain. Your right brain is seeing it. And an A is like a triangle with a cross across, or a line across. Second one is X, and that, you know, it's 2 lines that intersect. There's the X. The third one is E, and it's a single line with vertical with 3 horizontal short lines. Now, those are the 3 letters, A, X, and E. I'm going to shuffle them. Okay, and then I'm going to put one up on your screen. Just let your mind go, relax and let go, and take your left hand and tap your left knee. And as you do that, at the same time, listen for any sounds outside. Are there cars going by? Are there people walking? Do you hear talking? Do you hear cars? See what you can hear outside. But be aware of your screen if something should show up on your screen. But put your attention outside. And which of those 3 letters am I holding up? A, X, or E?
Well, I got E before it started, really.
Before it started, but now that we're started, what are you seeing? And move it around, in and out. Just let it appear, Dave. Let go. What is appearing? It can be very fuzzy, but it's black on white. What letter do you see? And again, tap your left and right feet.
I'm drawn to X. I'm drawn to X.
Okay. I want you to lift your mask up.
Yeah.
There you go. We're done. We're done. You can lift your mask up. We're all done, Dave.
Oh, right. Okay.
You got the X. Now, it's hard for you to remember everything we did, but I can tell you, you did wonderfully.
How long have we been doing this?
The recording says 1 hour and 5 minutes.
Wow.
But that's when I first started recording. Now, you may not even feel like you did very well, but I'm going to do the video and you will see how well you did. Okay.
I will just say, and you of course you hear this from a lot of people, I would just say they were guesses. They were guesses, or they were inspired guesses, perhaps. I don't know, but I didn't see any images. That's all. It was not an image.
So you know how you're seeing at this point? With your intuition. Okay, that's what Nettie talked about, Nemanja talked about yesterday. You're picking it up because you could not get that number correct just on a guess. The chances of you getting each color correct is only 1 out of 4 each time. Chances of getting the letters were 1 out of 3.
Except that I gave you the E to start with. If in fact it had been an E, you would have said you got it right. You know.
No, because you'll see in the video. You'll see the video what you did. And there's 7 of these cards here.
Yeah. So
the chances of you getting both things correct. You said it was a solid sphere. You said it was a 0 or like a circle. Yeah. And you said it was solid. Do you know what the chances of getting that correct are?
Was it solid? Was it a solid sphere? Yeah.
Yeah, the chances of you getting that correct are 7 times 7, 1 out of 49.
All right, that's good. Okay.
So, you know, it's 1 out of 49. Now, here's where your left brain keeps coming in. Your left brain says, oh, David, don't be so silly. You were just guessing. And you got lucky, and you got everything correct all on guesses, because it wants to be in control and it refuses to acknowledge that you have this ability. It doesn't like it.
Because what we want is something that jumps out at us, don't we?
It will in the future for you.
We want to see a flash of the planet Earth or something, or a solid or something, and we don't want to just say, I mean, I could say to you at the moment, an antique car, one of those antique cars, and I think, well, where the hell does that come from? Was there something transmitting antique car to me? I don't know, but it's somehow unsatisfying unless you actually see something, isn't it?
Yeah. Now, as time goes on, you will change. You will start to see visually, but you're more, as Ned, the man just said yesterday, there's people that have more of an intuitive sense. There's people that will hear the word. There's people that will see it visually. Now, with practice, you'll see it visually. But I have had many times where it was just my intuition. I had times where I heard the word red, and it was red. I had times where I just felt this energy coming at me. And I said to myself, well, if I had to give the energy a color, what would it be? And it came to me that, well, that would be a red energy. And then Wendy would say, open your mask, and it was red. Now, you see, your left brain will convince you that you're just guessing, especially because you're not seeing the stuff so much, but it's coming to you by intuition at the moment. But over time, it will start to overlap. And as I hold colors up and I say, Dave, that's red, just let that absorb into your right brain. Your brain will pick up the energy associated with this, the frequency of the light, and it will build a pattern, a library in the right side of your brain that says, when I see this again, I'm going to say it's red, because that's what I was taught. Okay, same with the plus and all these symbols, you see. So you've actually done very well. Now, Grant.
Thank you very much, Rob, because it helps to get some feedback, and maybe we'll give it one more try with the guy on Sunday. I mean, it's a long while to have another hour and a half getting everything wrong, so I do hope something comes out of it.
It's up to you. Like, I'm already training 2 people, but honestly, you're easy to train. If you wanted to do some more, I'd work with you for sure.
Oh, well, I mean, if you know, I mean, I'd love to. I think you're amazing the way you're giving yourself to this concept and helping people, because it's important, and it's very impressive when it happens, you know.
Yeah, and here's the thing is, you know, I thought I was under the impression within myself you were going to be a tough nut to crack. Okay, because you know I read your posts. You're very actively involved intellectually, and that's great. In the normal world, that's fantastic. As we get older, it's very good to exercise all that and to continue. It's very good, and I commend you. Except for this ability, you got to just put that aside. So I thought it was going to be almost impossible today. When I started seeing you getting the things correct, I'm like, oh my God. You did very well, and you will see the video. That's why I do the video, because the person themselves convinced they were guessing. They're convinced that they just got lucky. They'll put it into luck and say, I just got lucky. No, there's 7 different symbols, Dave, and you got both correct. You got the solid sphere, and you got that it was, that it's a circle and that it was solid.
I suppose what confuses you is that you're shuffling the cards in your head to some extent. You know, you're saying, well, is this a circle? Is it a square? Is it a thing? And you're shuffling the cards. And then you kind of decide on one as you would do if I asked you to give me a card and you might just choose one. So you're trying to convince yourself that you didn't just choose that card by accident. And you're right in terms of the chances. It's a good chance. It's a good choice. And maybe if I had a few more like that, I might actually start to believe it.
How thing for you is, and you did well. Honestly, you did very well. You'll see it in the video. But because you're a journalist, you're taught to be very critical in your thought.
Yeah.
Like you have to ascertain, is the person telling the truth or not? People love to embellish and maybe change the story a little bit. And as a journalist, you got to get to the truth brutally sometimes.
Because when you talked about the color, I have a feeling that you said something in your language. I'm not saying you're trying to trick me, but there's something in your language. I think you might, when we play it back, you might say something about light. You said something about light. So I gravitated towards, he's trying to tell me it's a light color. So I go for yellow, I don't know whether you said that, but that's the kind of feeling I had.
Okay. So the left brain will do that. It will tell you all those things. But no matter, and also here's the other thing that it will do, Dave. It will actually use words that I've said to find the right color. If it can't get through your filter and show you the color, it will take the words that I said and use one of them to latch onto. For example, if I'm saying try to see the light, your brain will say light, a light color. Oh, and your right brain will try to make connections that way. Mm. And then you'll get it right, but your left brain will say, oh, no, he's purposely worked his language to lead me to the color.
No,
I'm not smart enough to do that.
No, I don't think that. I hear what you're saying, a bit like when in tarot, you might choose one of the cards, you've got a choice, and you choose one which is more important than another one because you know what's going on. Basically, you're making the cards fit the story.
Yeah, and I'm not smart enough to do that. I have no way knowing how I could even do that for you. But your left brain will convince you that that's what I did, and therefore write the entire thing off.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why Wendy and I decided we would start videotaping all our sessions, because I would have a session with her and she'd kind of see my lip hanging down after, and she'd say, what's wrong? And I say, well, I don't feel like I got anything. Yeah. She says, Rob, don't say another word. Go home and edit the video, and let's talk this afternoon. Honest to God, I go and edit the video, and I got 20 things correct out of 25, David. But I didn't feel that way. I didn't feel, well, why? Because as an adult, we concentrate on our failures. Okay? Like we're taught in work, you got to get it perfect. And if you get something that's not quite right, you get berated for it. So we're very careful to make sure we do everything correctly. And when we don't do something correctly, it's typically upsetting for adults. Okay? Kids don't care. They don't care. So
I think with me, it felt like I had many choices, a number of choices, and it feels like when you pick one of several, it doesn't feel that it's a strong choice. It doesn't feel like that's definitely it, It feels like you're making a choice which you kind of feel could be any choice. That's the slight difficulty with it. I would.
It's very, and over time, that will get stronger. See, especially if you're not seeing the colors. That's why it feels that way. Now, when you get to the point where you start seeing a haze, you'll say, Rob, it looks like there's this yellowish fog on my screen. Okay, so I'm going to say yellow. Yeah. And then I'll peek, open up your mask, and you're going to see it's the yellowy orange.
Yeah, I mean that would convince me. Seeing something, it would feel right. but let's see where we go. You know, it's interesting, and thank you very much.